People that insist poverty causes crime are suddenly surprised that some losing their livelihoods are protesting the laws. So there are some places in some locations in some countries where there actually is protesting coming out against the current shutdowns that are going on due to this pandemic, due to this CCP virus. This is somewhat more widespread than I think people would have expected, even though for me, I think it was somewhat more widespread that people just accepted some of these shutdowns based on the actual lack of information. But then when I look at it, they might have been a mix together of the information coming out, all of a sudden just boom, this was happening, and then the news picking up on it and reporting it in a certain way. That 2 million number that was mentioned about the United States that just picked up and was picked up by other people, seeing all these figures, there's going to be all these people dead. And then you look at the actual film coming out of China of people being welded into apartment buildings, grabbed out of homes and put into like these paddy wagon type of looking things and back of pickups with these boxes, people actually blocking off tunnels and roads and things like this. And people are thinking, wow, why would they do this? They wouldn't do this unless it was a major issue. I think this is from a false actual estimation of the abilities of the Chinese Communist Party or what they would actually be willing to do with their people for what reasons. But that's something I'll talk about somewhere else, have talked about it before. I'll come back to this thing right now. So whatever happened, it happened. Shutdowns occurred. Some people have lost their lives. Some people will commit suicide, probably have committed suicide over this. There's some places like here in Kenya where I was thinking, wow, well, you have over 60% of the population that is informal, so they're not registered in taxation and things like this. So how would you actually be able to pay these people if you say we're to have a full shutdown? And we haven't had a full shutdown. Some counties where the major cities are have had limited travel in and out of those counties, and then there's been a curfew from 7 to 5. Now there have been issues with enforcing and things like that, but already from just the start of the curfew, let alone the quarantine, there was already issues in certain areas where people just literally don't have food. They're literally living on $2 a day. So it's like these people are not just going to sit at home just because of this supposed virus that's out there. It's literally life or death from them. So they will go out and try to make a living. If you can supply for them, then yeah, but then they don't know how long that supply is going to happen. Is your system able to handle these things? You're putting people in a lose-lose situation. And then some of them will act out this way. So it hasn't been that surprising to actually see people do that. But one thing that has been interesting for me to see is people in the United States of America, mostly on the political left, who claim that, in inner city areas, in places that are doing badly, mostly in minority areas that have low level of financial wealth, like that's why the crime rates are so high there. Certain minority groups are overrepresented due to institutionalized racism that keeps them in poverty, and that's why they have these higher crime rates. But most of those poverty levels are nowhere close to the poverty level that you see in developing countries. Are they saying those mass groups of people are just a lot more criminal? No, there's very good people in those communities. Just how there are very good people who are experiencing poverty in the United States of America that don't turn to crime. But when you put somebody in certain situations, they will do certain things against the things that are accepted as laws by those people in those areas. Despite the caricature of some of the people you see out there protesting, it's similar to this thing of the African American communities. It's similar to the thing that you see when people are talking about slums in places like here in Nairobi. They look at certain people, certain things are projected by the media and made to be narratives, made to be actual talking points, made to be the way people look and approach these entire groups of people. They take these minority of people and paint with a broad brush, yet they're not indicative of what the people are. Though the situations can change and drive people into certain situations, not all laws are completely valid. Just like we look at certain inner city locations and we say, hey, maybe that law is actually not helping that community. Maybe that law is unfair. So that person doing that should not actually be a crime. Should not be something you throw this person in jail for that long. Just like somebody deciding, hey, I've put in 20 hours of my life to actually build this business, and I was finally breaking even. I was finally actually looking like this is something I can last and actually pass it on to my kids. Actually, my child started working here with me, and then they decided, hey, I'm actually not going to go to university and get schooled. I'm actually going to stay here and learn the business from you. I just met somebody in the town, and I think I want to marry her, and I think we can actually do this. And then all of a sudden, business is shut down. You're not essential. You can't work. And then you're surprised that person might decide, I'm just going to break the law and keep working anyway. I'm going to find ways around this. I'm going to go out there and protest. It's an odd thing, but I think that's why they have to caricature these people and pick out those few people in those groups and then say these are what all the people are. The few people who are just literally like, oh, I just want a haircut. Now that haircut could stand for a lot of other things because that business itself could be a barbershop, could be a salon in a small town. That's still essential to those people in some kind of way. Not everybody's not like me who's like, I just haven't had a haircut in over a year now. Just let my hair grow. Most people aren't like that. Most people really feel the need that they need that almost daily grooming. I know some people here in Kenya. This one guy, a friend of mine, he has a buzz cut. Like his head is completely down to not even an inch, not even a centimeter, like a millimeter. And he goes into the barbershop almost daily. I think daily, and he gets it done. He gets it done. You could do that at home. You can just buzz it at home in the morning, but for some reason he goes there. It's part of his life. It's just part of something that he does. And that's the thing. For some people, who am I to decide what's essential for somebody's life? You put up the actual information, let people decide off of that. Then maybe what I think a government would actually be positive with doing is enforcing the law. Set the law and say if you put somebody into unnecessary risk and then there's actual litigation after, then you provide the system to actually litigate and get into that situation where somebody can get some restitution. But if somebody says, look, I am deciding to stay open. We both know that there's actually a challenge here. We both know there's actually a risk to both of us involved here. If you enter my establishment to purchase a service that I am offering you and another adult, we're not going to sue each other for what happens after this. If that's agreed, then I'm okay with people doing it. Yes, it puts other people in danger, but then you also allow people to discriminate on anything they feel necessary to discriminate on. So they can look at those people and say, hey, okay, the beach is open and these people have gone out to the beach. If I know that you've been on this beach, I don't want you coming close to my children. I don't want you coming close to my parents. I am an old person. I am one of these at-risk people. I want to be able to discriminate against you. Let's say we finally open up in a week or something, or I have a store and it's opened up and it has its own rules, and I hear you actually went to the beach and I found the beach to be an unsavory place for you to be. You should be allowed to discriminate and say, you specifically, because you went to the beach, I'm not letting you into my establishment. That person shouldn't be able to sue you for that. Like, this is a situation. It's this. There's too many things here. If you let people choose who they can associate with, it would be a much better life for all of us. So that's it for this one. This is part of my shorties series where I take these short little thoughts and I expand on them and then post them on here. And I'm very thankful to those who take the time to come listen. Doubly thankful to those who let me know what they think in the comment section. And it's also appreciated if you liked it. Dislike if you disliked it, subscribe if you aren't subscribed. You can also check out the link to the merchandise store below where I got different kinds of merchandise. I think those people are still essential enough to still be delivering. There might be some short delays with the things, but I just got a replacement for my pen tablet, so I'm going to be drawing some more designs soon and uploading those, and probably going to be having little speed drawings as I go with these and letting you know about the new shirt designs, and maybe do more art that is related directly to some of these videos that I'm doing. Yeah. And there's also links below to PayPal if you'd like to help me out. Much appreciated with whatever you can do. And that's it for now. Goodbye.